Hi guys, it's Mrs. Chenoweth, and sorry I couldn't be with you today for today's art class. So I just want to give you a little brief instruction on what your assignment is today and how you can accomplish that. All right, so very first step is, of course, you should read all of your directions on the handout that I so painstakingly created for you. So please make sure you read this step by step, and then you can use this video also. Hopefully you will share this video with your other students in the class who don't have their device handy, so that you can just kind of collaborate and work. All right, so very first step is you are going to be creating a sculpture out of a piece of paper. And this sculpture is a unique sculpture because it should be expressing an emotion. You don't need to make it out of the whole entire sheet. I would conserve, save the trees, we love trees. And I'm not going to show you how to make this. This is the one I made because I want you to use your creative ingenuity. I was just thinking about the emotion of happiness and freedom. So I wanted some nice curved lines. I wanted it to be kind of like bursting, almost like a flower. So that's my sculpture that I created. All right, so here's what your task is. After you create this, please try not to take more than, I'm gonna say 20 minutes to get this done. Then your next step is you need to draw this. This is where I'm gonna be grading you on your shading. We've already practiced shading, so this is going to be a graded grade in your for art class. So just keep that in mind. It's kind of like a skill we've already practiced, so now we're just so I can grade you for it. All right, so the other things you're going to need today, you are going to need your pencil, you're going to need a nice eraser for the drawing aspect of this project. You have glue and scissors and glue, sorry, for sculpting. You can also use the scissors to kind of do different things like curling and stabbing, poking holes into the paper. So just think about whatever that emotion is that you want to do for this assignment. After that, what you're going to do is you're going to set it up in front of you, and I'm going to turn the screen so you can kind of see. Here's my sculpture over here. I am going to be drawing from life. I do want you to shine some light on it so that you have some really nice shadows and you can practice your shading. So keep that in mind too. As you can see on here, there's a suggestions that I have for how to start your drawing. So the first suggestion is kind of look at your artwork, and what I have is so you can kind of see what I'm doing is I did print this out. It's a picture or a photograph of my drawing so you can see this. All right, so very first step, what I want you to do is kind of set up your sketchbook. I like to label it and call it something, and this is going to be called Emo Paper Sculpture Drawing, and I put the date on there also, so that's how I'm going to label this. Okay, so next step after that, if you read the information, it is saying after you've got it set up and you have some light shining on it so that you can see some nice contrast in your drawing, then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to start outlining the basic shape of your artwork. So let me try to get a little more light on here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so and that's kind of what I've done here. So what I'm looking for is to get a nice outline of this basic shape. So if you look at what I'm drawing, here's what I'm drawing. Here's this shape. And I kind of went around this entire edge. And this was the first thing that I drew, is this kind of entire edge or outline. I've also come in here and drawn these parts, which are kind of like the shading and the shadows that you kind of see here on the table. All right, so once you've got kind of like that basic outline, the next step is I came in here and I started to draw some of these details that I'm seeing, like where the paper overlaps and meets in the middle, and some of those basic things. So that's the next step. After that, then you're going to look back in your sketchbook. Remember this activity where we were doing different mark making? So you're going to employ some of those ideas that you know how to do. You also might look at, remember the spheres that we did, so you might want to look at these and come up with some ideas for shading that you want to use. Also, if you have that little sphere draw, this image, you can use the value scale that's on there So you want to think about, for this drawing, getting all these different values from light to dark in your final. All right, so now I'm going to start adding some of the shading because I have all the contoured outlines. So now I'm really ready to shade. Where I really like to start a lot of times with the shading is start with the darkest darks. Like these are the blackest areas right here. So I like putting those in first, and I'm going to press down really hard with my pencil. I'm just going to use this side of my pencil because I want this really super dark, as dark as I can get it. You can go to the closet today and get a shading pencil if you want. Just make sure that you're putting it back where it belongs, and you're respecting the workspace of others as you do that. All right, so here I am just going to go in, and it's always a good place for me to start. One of the cool things too about cast shadows, it quickly defines the negative space of your object, and it kind of makes it pop out. Also shading, you know, these cast shadows here, it's super dark. Here it's dark, but not as dark. But then here it kind of just sort of blows out and fuzzes out. This side too is not quite as dark as this cast shadow. So you want to observe all those things. And remember, you're going to be drawing from the real objects, you know, which you can kind of see over here. This is what I'm actually looking at. But for the purposes of this video, I am kind of using a little bit of this using the photographs so that you can see what I'm doing. All right. So here, you know, cast shadows are also a fun place to kind of maybe try some of those different shading techniques. So you can do scribble or hatching or whatever you want to do for that. There's a little more shading or shadowing here. And pick different types of mark making to also maybe emphasize whatever that emotion is that you're trying to recreate in your drawing. Okay. All right, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add this really nice dark shading. And already, hopefully you can kind of see that the form is now jumping out. And it already looks like it's not just a flat piece of shape drawing. All right, come in there. Pay careful attention to your edges as you want things to pop out. If it's got a nice clean edge, you know, you don't want to take your scribbling and kind of, you know, your shading and mess it up and kind of go over here, for example. It's going to kind of mess things up. So you do want to keep it neat. All right, and then the next part is I'm just going to go into the object and I'm looking for more shapes of shadows. Okay, and I'm just going to continue drawing in that manner. Thinking about what is the value. Is it really dark? Is it really light? And I'm having to talk really loud right now because my class next door is getting a little rowdy, so I apologize for the sound quality. But anyway, as you begin to add more and more values, you're going to see that shape and form. I love this assignment because it's kind of low risk. Who's going to know if you mess up, because the sculpture is really a free-form sculpture that you created, and basically that's going to get thrown away at the end of class. If you want to take a photograph of it because you love your sculpture and it helps you to draw, then by all means you can take a photograph of it with your phone or with your device. All right, so I would continue on like that. Just continue to shade and recreate this form. Try to find as many details as you can. All right, good luck with this assignment. I will show you later my end result when I get back to class. All right, good luck.